Hi everybody, I'm Sara Lovecraft here at Gemcraft Studio. Today we're putting together a really beautiful memory wire bracelet with matching earrings. I'm going to show you all of the tools and the materials that you need to put this together. Let's get started. Okay, so to get started, we are going to talk about the tools that we need for the project. You're going to need a pair of round nose pliers. These are great for creating loops. We're going to be using these to create loops on the ends of our memory wire. You're also going to need a pair of chain nose and bent chain nose pliers for opening and closing your jump rings. Now the bent chain nose pliers are not necessary, but you definitely need 2 pairs of pliers to open and close your jump rings. We're also going to be using memory wire shears. These are very important because the wire that we are using for this project is tempered steel. And if you use your regular cutter tools to cut through that tempered steel, you're going to crack the blade on those. So you want to be sure that you always have the right cutter tool for the job. To get started, we're going to cut a length of memory wire for our project. Now, depending on how long you want your bracelet to be is going to depend on how many coils of the memory wire that you want to cut. If you want a single wrap around your wrist of memory wire, you're going to need to cut 1.5 coils. As I mentioned, memory wire is tempered steel. That means that this is going to retain its shape. To get started, we are going to come to the end of our memory wire and we're going to be using our round nose pliers to create a coil that starts at the very tip of the memory wire. So I'm placing the wire between the jaws of the round nose pliers, and then I'm going to start to coil the wire around the round nose of the round nose pliers. And you're going to coil this wire down about 1 inch worth of wire. That's going to give you about 2.5 coils total. With the memory wire, you can either coil towards yourself or away. I have a tendency to coil away from me. Once you've created your coil, that's going to hold your beads in place. You can start to create your pattern by adding your beads to the memory wire. For my pattern, I'm going to start with a seed bead. I like to use seed beads as spacer beads to go in between some of my larger beads. So I'm going to thread on 1 seed bead, and then I'm going to thread on a beautiful freshwater pearl. Freshwater pearls and gemstones are notorious for having very small drill holes. They will fit onto your memory wire. You may have a couple that might not fit at all, but for the most part, they will fit. It is a very tight squeeze. You may need to spin those as you gently push to get those started on the memory wire. Once you have those on, you can continue to twist the pearl and kind of push, or you can always pick up your chain nose pliers or your round nose pliers and hold on to the wire and then kind of drag the pearl along the wire. So after I've added my freshwater pearl, I'm going to add another seed bead. Those seed beads are going to help frame my larger beads, but they're also going to help to create a little bit of space in between so that my semi-precious beads and my pearls are not crowding each other. So I'm sliding a seed bead on. Then I'm going to add 3 to 5 of the strawberry quartz chip beads to this. The natural shape of the strawberry quartz chip beads are going to add a lot of texture and dimension to the design. Now, once I have all of these beads added, I'm going to repeat the pattern, filling up the rest of the memory wire. So I've added the last beads here and you can see I have about 1/2 inch, a little over 1/2 inch of that wire left. Now I'm going to use my round nose pliers to coil that wire down. So I'm just going to grab the tip of the wire just like we did when we first started with the round nose pliers, and I'm going to gently coil that wire around the round nose of those pliers, and I'm essentially rolling that wire down to meet up with the last bead. That's going to hold the bead in place, but it's also going to give us an opportunity to add extra elements to this. Now, you don't have to, but if you would like to add dangles or charms or anything like that, then you have these 2 loops on either end where you can do so. I love dangles, so I'm going to add some charms to the end of this that are really going to add some extra movement to this piece. Now, I've selected the charms that I want to add to the ends of my bracelet, and I'm using some 6mm jump rings to attach those to the loops on the ends. To open and close your jump rings, you place your jump rings between 2 pairs of pliers, and with one hand, your dominant hand, you are going to twist to open the jump ring. So you're going to hold one hand stationary and you're going to use your dominant hand to walk that jump ring open. Once you have the jump ring open, you can add your charm. And then you can go ahead and add that to the loop on the end of your memory wire. Then when you're ready to close the jump ring, you're going to follow the same steps that you would when you open the jump ring, just in the opposite direction. So hold one hand steady and use the other hand to walk that jump ring closed. You never want to pull the jump rings apart and stretch those open, because when you go to close those back, you'll never get that nice round shape again. So you always want to walk those open and walk those closed. So I've added one to one side and I'm going to add the other to the other side. When closing your jump rings, make sure that you get a complete closure on those. You don't want to leave any open space there. You don't want your charms or anything else that you might have hanging on a jump ring to sneak out of the ring itself. Now we've completed our bracelet, let's make a pair of earrings really quickly to match. To create a cute and simple pair of earrings to match your memory wire bracelet, we're going to be using an eye pin. Eye pins work very similarly to jump rings. They have a loop on them that you're going to walk open and walk closed. So using your chain nose pliers, we're going to take our eye pin, and you'll notice that it has that loop on the bottom. We're going to grasp that loop with our chain nose pliers, and we are going to twist to open. We are going to add a charm to ours. So we're just going to take the ring on the charm, slide that on to our open eye pin, and then once that is there, we're going to use our chain nose pliers, and just like a jump ring, we're going to walk that closed. Again, make sure you've got a good closure there so that your charm doesn't fall off. Once you've added your charm to your eye pin, then you're going to decide what kind of beads you want to add. For me, I like the look of the chip beads that we used in our bracelet, though a pearl would be just as pretty. I'm going to take 3 of our chip beads and thread those on to our eye pin. And now that we have added our beads, we need to create another loop. We need a connection point for our ear wire. So to do that, we are going to have to create the same loop that our eye pin already has on the bottom, but we have to do that ourselves. So we're going to use a combination of our chain nose pliers and our round nose pliers to make that happen. So with your chain nose pliers, you're going to grasp the wire right where it is exiting the bead and hold those beads stationary in your hand. You're going to give that wire a bend. You want that wire to bend about 90 degrees. Then you're going to come in with your cutter tool. Now this time I'm using my regular cutter tool. I don't have to use the memory wire shears for this because our eye pin is not made out of that tempered steel. I'm going to come in with my cutter tool and I'm going to trim off the wire, leaving myself about 1/4 of an inch of wire. Then I'm going to use my round nose pliers. We're going to create a single simple loop on the end of this wire. So I'm going to grasp the wire with the tip of my round nose pliers and I'm going to roll back towards myself and create a small loop. To add your ear wire, you're going to treat the loop on your ear wire just like you would the eye pin and the jump ring. You're going to grasp that with your chain nose pliers. You're going to give it a twist to open it, thread on your newly created dangle, and then you are going to twist to close. And you will repeat all of those steps to create the mate for your earring. And that's it. You've got a beautiful bracelet and earrings matching set. Now be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know what future projects you would like to see, what future gemstone combinations you would like to see from us here at Gemcraft Studios. I'm Sara Lovecraft. Thanks for letting me be a part of your beading journey. I look forward to more projects together in the future here at Gemcraft Studios.